All right, what's up, everybody? Will here from Flow Candy. Today, we're going to break down Liquid IV's Black Friday, Cyber Monday 2023, sort of November and December campaign calendar. I got it all lined up here for you so you can go through um, their their subject lines, their send times, their offers, and I have all the emails that you can look at here as well that sort of correspond with it. Um, but yeah, let's first start off with why I think they're interesting. Um, mainly for me with Liquid IV, it's that this is a brand that was acquired, I think, 3 or 4 years ago by Unilever, estimated somewhere between 100 and 200 million dollars. So they got acquired by a big sort of enterprise. CPG conglomerate, and normally the shtick on this is, or the shtick on these types of companies is, they don't know how to do email, they don't do a really good job, and they're kind of slow and cumbersome to get stuff out. And a lot of the mid market or small business sort of D2C brands can move much faster with them. But I want to say that this is a case where I think that that is not necessarily true. This is an example of a company in a maybe in the portfolio of a CPG conglomerate that actually does email pretty well, pretty effectively. One of the things that stands out to me is first off, like, they're on the right platform. Like, if you just go to Liquid IV, I'm going to click on their sponsored ad, but if you click on their site, you'll see that they are, this is a Shopify store. This is a store that uses Klaviyo, Attentive, Elevar, Black Crow. So they're doing a lot of the sort of D2C tactics that many of the sort of challenger brands in this space are using. And their emails are pretty dialed in. Are they the most aggressive? Like, are they like, some of the apparel brands I'll audit where they're sending literally, 100 emails in the months of November and December? No, but I think they do a pretty good job in November and December. So if you're sort of in the health space, or or even if you're listening to this and you work at like a big, conglomerate, sort of publicly traded CPG company, this is how you could run, and you're having problems like sort of digitally transforming your organization. You can use this as sort of inspiration, because they've been able to sort of have a pretty good workflow here for their campaign calendar. So let's dive in. So we'll start in November of 2023. So really, it starts on that Friday. They send out this 25% off new drop, sort of driving sales. And it's right here, this variety pack here you got going on here. So they're just sort of showing their best sellers. I'll pull it up in Mill too for you guys to look. So that's sort of the subject line. Just variety 25. Not much holiday theme going on here. Same on the 5th. The 5th is a pretty basic email that they deploy, low inventory, sort of promotional offer around the variety pack. In the 8th and the 11th, I think this is interesting. Normally, I think it's hard for bigger sort of companies to pull this off, but this is the first time you start seeing Black Friday sort of stuff. So they're kind of starting it on the 8th with an exclusive offer. I think this is a pretty cool offer for a brand like this to pull off, where it's like you get a free gift. So you get a free hat, and it only goes out to the first 1,000 customers. Really good copy, very clear, the offer, the Black Friday stuff. And then the styling of the email is pretty good too, using GIFs, and it's just really on brand. So this was like sort of their first BF offer here. Another thing you'll see them do is, I think was this a resend? Though they do resends, which I think shows that they're a lot of people will say, well, resends are cheap, but I think this is more of an advanced tactic. It shows that whoever is running their program understands it. I mean, they change out the subject line, they send on a different date, a different time, and stuff like that. But resends are a great way to sort of redeploy creative without really quickly, because you can just clone the email, change the subject line, and send out an email. And I don't know if they're changing the segmentation here. Unfortunately, I don't really have any insight into their segmentation when I do these audits, but it's cool to see a brand this big at a big publicly traded company doing resends. So they do that, and then come the 11th, we'll have come the 11th, they'll do that resend, and then the 13th we do this. And again, this is pretty cool too. It's in the holiday season. We're getting here. We're about a week or 10 days out from Thanksgiving-ish, Black Friday, and they're launching new collections. And this is a brand that doesn't launch merchandise. This is a hydration company, a fast-moving consumer goods in the health and nutrition space. So whatever you want to call it, or however you want to label them, but they're launching not only merchandise like apparel, but they're doing it in the holiday season. So really dialed in, I think. This is true with a lot of these big companies that are publicly traded. They're really good at their supply chain management, getting things planned out, getting things scaled up really in omnichannel and retail. And I think that's where you really see Liquid IV. At least I'm in the U.S. If you go to a Target in the U.S. or CVS, really they are the number one in the category, in my opinion. They're just everywhere. But it's cool to see that they're doing this online too. You get into it. Let me pull that up. There's nothing crazy about the launch, but it's this 13th, the 15th. They're teasing the launch on the 13th. Okay, so it's like a coming soon. They also sort of reminding of Black Friday, and then they launch it on the 15th here. Just drop, and then moving on to what they do. This is really when I think the Black Friday stuff kind of cranks up. Here on the 16th, we get an early access 30% off. And so they're doing that. And then on the 18th, they do a sort of Black Friday starts now. So the 18th is that Saturday before Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So they're starting a week early, which is, again, you're seeing a lot of brands do this. Some brands are starting this in the beginning of November. And then again, they do the resends here. These are 3 back-to-back emails, I think, that are resends. They just change the subject line. So they're just, and this is a great way, especially in the Black Friday holiday season. People are out, they're on vacation, they're seeing their families. And so resends are a great way to, if you don't have time to create new creative, you can just sort of resend this stuff. And you'll see them do this, and you'll see a lot of brands do it, but you'll see them do this throughout the holidays. So they're really resending. And then, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, they do this Have You Heard? Why it's so hard to scroll through this stuff. Again, dropping the collection or reminding people of the collection that they just dropped. On actual Black Friday, they don't send anything on Thanksgiving, but on actual Black Friday, they do 2 emails, and they do a special offer here. And it's 30% off plus a free water bottle. So we can look at it here. They're basically giving that this is what happens on the 2 Black Fridays. So this one gets sent in the morning, this one gets sent in the evening. It is basically a resend. And they're just changing out the subject line. But what I like about this is they are sort of doing a special offer just for Black Friday, just for that day. you get 30% off and you get the free water bottle. So I guess you just use that code and that free water bottle is applied in checkout. And then they do an extended email. And I like this, I'm a fan of doing the extended, but I like how they do it, but it's like, hey, like you don't get the free water bottle. So they're going to use the same offer all the way through Cyber Monday. And they will change up the coupon codes here. So you'll see like it, let me zoom in here. You'll see that it's this BF sale 30, and then it switches to Cyber 30 come Monday. But they're just doing resends on Cyber Monday. And then, but it's the same sort of exact offer. Get 30% off some of the products that they feature. And then to close out November, they do, and you'll see them do this, they sort of do a charity awareness email here where they give raise awareness for a charity. It is the season of giving. So that's an angle that they sort of add into that's sort of a style of email or a theme emails they layer into their email marketing. And it fits in with their hydration sort of angle too. So it's cool to see a big brand at a big conglomerate still doing that. Let's move into December, what they do. And I've seen some brands do this. It's about Cyber Week, so we're, still the week of the Friday after Cyber Monday, but we're still doing this Cyber Week theme. So this is a great way. I've seen people use this, keep that cyber code, or really they changed the offer here. It's not Cyber Monday is 30% off, but then Cyber Week is Cyber 25. So it's an interesting way to keep the sort of cyber vibes going, but also make Cyber Monday exclusive, Black Friday exclusive. After that, you see them start to pivot to like New Year's kind of angles here, and you'll see this throughout their December calendar. Obviously, dehydration is sort of a big deal, or an angle they can play up in the holidays. People go to Christmas parties, New Year's Eve parties, stuff like that. So they'll do that. They do some minor, just sort of awareness, hydration stuff. On the 13th here, they do their last chance for holiday shipping. So I always tell brands to do this. This is, if not a way to drive sales, it's also just a friendly reminder to remind to your community. So they do this on the 13th, last day. But it's interesting, they still do some promotional stuff. Like they do this holiday flash sale, which I've seen brands do this sort of in mid-December. So on the 15th, they launch their flash sale. And then on the 17th, they just basically do a resend of that email. And again, just change the subject line. But it's basically 25% off, holiday 25. And I guess you get a free gift if you order over $75. These are some of their welcome emails, but, come like leading up to Christmas, they do some letter stuff, grateful for. So they're raising awareness, letter to customers, community. They do another sort of charity awareness email here on the 21st. And then on the 22nd, they do a holiday flash sale. It's interesting. Just because, we're like, 2 days away from Christmas Eve. So maybe it's more around like the New Year's, but you'll see they will do resends of this really so they have this email that goes out on the 19th. And then on their last two emails are basically resends of that email. But then also you could say that this is sort of a resend too. It's the same hero. They just changed out the sort of the footer below, but that footer below or not footer, but like the categories, product features below are the same as the product features that were in this party trick email that was sent out on for Boxing Day, basically that Tuesday after Christmas. And again, coming back to that hydration angle around New Year's Eve, how people are going to be going to parties. So, and this is the MVP. Also, I want to mention they're using this holiday flash sale in soon. So there is a little bit of, it's not like a total resend. They are changing some stuff out here. They are using a lot of the same assets though. And then also you have this letter. I've never seen a letter style like this. It's like a picture of a letter. I guess it works. They sent this out on the Christmas Eve. Sometimes the point of the letter style emails though is like they're lighter weight. They're not image based, and so they hit the inbox better. So that. It's not always just about like sending a letter, but pretty cool to see that. I've never seen that done where they actually like mock up a letter. But yeah, that's basically their holiday calendar here. Once you get into 2024, I don't know if they do much come January. Sometimes it's hard to like see what they did in January. But yeah, I mean, they did do some stuff around New Year's, New Year's goals, and this is stuff that you can do when you are a. Here we go. Yeah, it's a lot about refreshing, make this your new year. So they start that on the 2nd. So I wouldn't really call that holiday, but typically with a lot of health and wellness companies, there is a push on towards the sort of at the beginning of January to really like set healthy habits. But yeah, that's basically their 2023 campaign calendar during November, December, and the Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday season. Yeah, let me know if this helps you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime on LinkedIn or email me at will@flowcandy.com. Thanks again for watching.